Yo, John Shadow, yeah, hello, anywho, yeah, y'all good. Empire 228, her laugh and her wrote you real. But, be nice to those evil monsters, Pi. It'll be 2052 year, 53, yep, and one of your demon forces show up. Me showing up in 283, Pi, yeah, one of your horn demons. Yep, the horn demon that works for you, yeah, shows up in 283. Yeah, 283, yep. The Hollywood going to go to that all Pi, you Norway and Norway. Yeah, he appears in Norway skies and he shouted your name. Always 100% the green ladies do. You spoke to him in the Hmong Shaman channels and you won Pi. Your DNA, spinal cord works. Your magic system bounces off of the Middle East and then right there, Pi, up into your own extenders. After we plug in the metal into the core, Pi, it works. But 9 hours don't tell on me. Pi at normal 100% as the green ladies do. The Hmong magic system has been saved, but nervous system only King Cobra. Ah, yeah, that's true. And then 3 hours later, the fucking little fake bitch is actually deleted right there in Magmar Pi Astra. And right there, all the grandpa horns didn't like her and murdered her right there in broad daylight real. Yep, we do massacre them for 7 to 8 years. Pi 100% as we do. Yep, it was good. We remove you manually, female, because you was not good for Paison's DNA. Me, as a grandpa horn, approve Pi's messages, and real, yeah, real. When we come out of our saucers, you'll see me, Pi, up right there in Thailand, Pi, 100% yeah, right there in Thailand, and in Norway. When you're in Norway, Pi, the other horns are still there. The horn demon that works for you, yeah, they're still there. But 2 hours of that, and then he's informed Pi. If they make it to Asia side of the heaven, yep, inform Pi, and then Pi will get there, yeah, 100% video. Because more grandparents, yeah, sneak in better, yeah, better, because we have no idea what Middle Eastern, yeah, what Israeli pirates have done to Asia, yeah, countries up there. And 2 hours later, yeah, if you stay, yep, you was told to, yep, evacuate to one of the Asian space countries and wait for Paison's orders. That's 100% all you has to do. Green light you has to do. The best graphic scene, you and us left in 9,000, yeah, and right there, English calendar year, you set up the bombs and it works very graphically, Lots of liars and the fight scene with the Malaysian angels, you won, But 9 hours, Grandpa's with you, up A plus always is the green light always do. Yo đã tua cũng đâu có tụ tập bị Norway here. All you go bang the here more eat out one the Thailand. Yeah, you'll see a few in Thailand, and then 4 hours, you'll see me in Thailand. It is there 2052 when your gold rakes are there, your gold male spirit ghouls are there, and then 3 hours me appear at 100% the green lights do. The best fight scene is you versing Malaysian immortals and then them flee, and the other fight scene is with the Tibetan. Yeah, Tibetan. The Tibetan grandpa challenges you after you murder more than 20 million Chinese souls. That's true. Yeah. He challenges you and he appears in Thailand. He shouts and says, sure. Pi hovers there in about 8 hours. Yep, you're there in Thailand, faster and light, and then you equip the magic wand in your right hand. Pi, 100% video. Right there, I see you're wearing your demonic fluid suit, and I see symbiotes, metal symbiote, and then right there, your head is revealed in the 2 hours. Him engages you, 100% video. Walk it, and then he says, 2 hours, and then right there he says begin, and the Pi says sure. And Pi, you fought him for 2 days, and then he begins the fight. I see 2 hours of you cutting him, Pi, and then 14 million cuts, and then he lets in 4 million cuts, and then he begins striking you, and right there you heal. But 9 hours of that, he's proud of you, and then you finish them off. Pi, 100% this video. That is the old Tibetan, immortal from China. You deleted him, you gain. After the fight, Pi, you world famous Pi, you're strongest immortal. 82, yeah, 82. And your 85 son is a thief, Pi, he's a thief. You'll see he took your Romanian sword, Pi let him have it. Yeah, that's true. Pi didn't use it, Pi didn't use it, that's true. And Pi said, yeah, you're smart. Your mom's Mandarin, yeah, you can use it, but don't show off, don't show off, Your Cantonese brother has the real night kit, and he can kill and murder any, that's true. It was there 4 hours, Pi. The knight is there. Yep, he's one of your first sons. Yep, the first ones, and he is powerful. Yeah, he's powerful. He cut right through the sword if they dare challenge each other. 9 hours in that Romanian sword. Yep, the metal on it shatters. That's true. And the 4 days of that they wrote Pi. It was you who gutted two of your little miners. That's fine. Yeah, me murder them. I've never seen a surnamed Chinese woman like that. Yeah. And the two miners disobeyed you. You ended them. Yes, me do. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That will be in 2000. 2,280, right about 270. Yeah, 270. Yep. All pop was said. Oh, yeah, that's a long time. And then 2 hours into the future, probably. The woman wrote, "How come you don't give a fuck about them? Because them are not Hmong. Them are mutt. Yeah, them are mutt. Grandpa Horn not accept them as Hmong. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good." And it was 2 hours of grandparent demons yet removing them from Southeast Asia. It's actually 7 years. Yeah, 7 years in broad daylight. After we're done murdering them, it was 4 hours of us restoring the survivors. And then, you bring them food and stuff, and afterwards we're out of there by Astro. Yep, normal. And then we didn't tell you, we not barbarians, we know when to patch up the humans. Yeah, Astro, yep. It's just that those are, immortals that are, them have superpowers, and those ones are not nice to pie. Yeah, that's true. So we popped out of the UFO and, taught them some manners. That's true. And Paisen, the biggest fight scene afterwards is also the Chinese tigers. You versed about 12 of those. Yeah, 12 of those. Indian 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, 派到 blow 到打 Joshua 的啲嘢我正。you murdered 4 tigers from China, and those their head morph into a tiger, and their demons pie up. You won. The best fight scene between you and them pie lasted every fight with the level 20 tigers lasted about 2 months pie up. Them are pretty weak. Yeah, them are pretty weak pie. A plus pie. The best fight scene was there in the Middle East pie. You verse 2 of those falls, and then the alien gray decides to bring back the real 80s. The real 80s are sealed in a UFO, and they bring it back, and then they release those humans with superpowers, and they're flying all around Persia. That's true. Yeah, that's true. You'll witness that on the news. It'll be a 2080, right? 300. Yeah, 300. Yeah, 2320. Right around 300. Yeah, 300. A plus 2090. Yes, 2900. 2090. Yeah, 2090. And the paisa, very graphic, is 2,290. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And then right there, pie, that's when you're trying to see if anything more happens. You gain, but a lot of harsh words from me, pie. They think we are nut pie, but we gain space stations. Yeah, all my vein demons. Yep, they get about they get about 50 trillion space countries from pie, and then pies. Yeah, other demons get about 30 trillion. Yep, that's true. Yeah, before pie went into the second Milky Way. That's true. Very graphic news, pie. All your poorest spirits. Yep, they gain 9 trillion is the poorest accurate. Space countries, real. Yep, those are poured out from Pi's eyeball genetic code and spinal cord genetic code. That's real. Pi said 5 hours of that. You see that, yeah, they live there. Knights are always checking, and yep, your hawks are checking. Your demi-hawks, and I saw 2 hours of the grandpa's checking. Yep, normal. Very graphic, Pi. Yeah, very graphic, Pi. Afterwards, now I know why they're chasing me. Pi, yeah, that's true. Right on my horn demons. It is very graphic news because right afterwards, you legit pie, yeah, you legit pie, that's true. All of those, broken space junkyards, Pie bought it up, Pie's grandma Hawk and Pie poured the big giant dragon orbs, the spheres, and then handed it to the other, Dragon Nation. They said sure, and then Pie traded well, Pie bartered well, yes, and Pie state has been cleared for a few white gods. That's true. That's 100% law. And demons, yes, that's true. Goetic demons in trouble. That's 100% law. That's true. Very graphic. It was more than, let's just say Pi. We theft more than 4 billion space stations, but by then you'll know Pi. Yoku. Indian not real, only 12. Yeah, only 12. Yeah, 12 working ones. That's true. Yeah, those have white gods and goddesses inside of those ones, but they're hygienic. Yep. Pi went there and they nodded. And then the very worst one, Pi, the worst Asian space country you went into, bunch of Israeli war gods, and they chopped you up badly. Pi, yeah, they cut you badly. Yeah, that's true. You versed them with the green sword, and then 2 hours later, when your spirits match, you match Pi. You're about twice the speed it had it, and then they kept bending, and those are incredible. Yeah, those are incredible. You versed them, and then Pi, when he truly tried to kill you, you did 70 trillion gone per second on his men and the sons, but right afterwards, they knew it. Yep, you're the real level 1. Yeah, real level 1, that's true. And then right there, why Pi halted, another Middle Eastern man god is really, flew in, and he was about probably a few minutes faster. That's true, Pi's out of there because he knew it. Pi matched the speed, and Pi installed an old microchip, an old metal device. That had it has a similar metal device. When you gain it from your female ghoul Pi, every time the dragon tries to steal it, they fry and you gain. But right when you're done cloning it, 9 trillion years, it fits. And right there, Pi, you're immune for 9 days, Pi Astro. But remember, you can't be drinking alcohol for more than 9 hours, Astro. Yep. Because the molecules, the six and molecules, the atoms will not protect your skin right afterwards. Yep. It will hit critical and the ray will poison you. Astro. Yeah, it's true, Pi. Yep. And then 9 hours, Pi. Your chip only good for 9 days. Be very good. Yep. Real Middle Eastern war gods, their chips are good for about 90 days. Yeah, that's true. 70, yeah, 70 days, that's true. And Pi, use it. You, Pi, you is a powerful remix and report version. The hours are lying to you, Pi. Right there, when you fought them, you match. But he says, when you do 70 trillion war gods, that is an evil, mad dog up there. Yeah, that's true, yeah, that's true. He is, in fact, another character, had it, but his sons are nice, Pi, so reasonable, so Pi let they stay. And they dwell. They eventually Pi buy up the space station for they too, but they're actually enslaved. Yeah, they're enslaved with dignity. Yeah, dignity. Yep, third class citizen for a while. That's true. But you have dignity. Yeah, we not touch. Yep, and we not do things to you. That's 100% all that's noise. And it's very graphic, Pi. You said when you're there, he is proud of you. But 9 hours, I saw you caught 57. Yep, you microchip him. Him is legendary. Yeah, him is legendary. The most sad thing about your story, Pi, is that your scar types hate you, Pi. Yeah, that's true. I heard it was your third or your fifth that you murdered, Pi. Yeah, that's true, yeah. The five-headed cobra, yeah, King Cobra goddess was not nice, Pi. Yeah, the queen was not nice. And then you divorced her, but you kept the children. But it was the most graphic fight, Pi. Yeah. Him knew it. You not want to see his mom anymore, and it was very graphic fight in Asia, side of the heavens, in space countries. The best fight scene, Pi. Your scar type came back and said, "Father, is this the dude that made you pissed?" And then you nodded, and then you spelled out his name. You showed the video, Pi. Yeah, 100% video. Best fight scene was you and your son, Pi. He kept cutting you, and he kept healing, and then he left you, Pi Astro. He's creepy. Yeah, he's creepy. He was pretty fast too. Yep, that's why Pi took off. And Pi said, 9 million years. They wrote, "How come you fight with your royal children? Because you disagree on many things." Yeah, that's true. And it was 2 hours, Pi. Your Hebrew version's there, and then your Israeli and Hebrew's there, and then the other is New Zealand, and then I see one more type, an older type of European goddess. You found that you bred with her, and then you kept her, you kept the son, but when he is born, he hates you. Yeah, he hates you, Pi. Yeah, he hates you. He says, "Good thing me, Vanguard. I hate my mom," and he flies to his mom. Yeah, normal. It was 5 hours of those ones. And those before you left, yeah, you made certain they can pour space countries, but very graphic for him, Pi. He hates his European brothers, Pi. Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, that's probably true. And what are those goddesses? Most likely sweet and brown hair. Yeah, most likely the Stowaway are Sweden, and Norwegians are becoming legit. Yeah, if there's any Norwegians left, but what Pi saw was only Norwegian spirits. That's true. And grandparents and demons right there, Pi. The Ukraine is pretty much good. Yep, the Lamb demons at the head of the tiger. Yeah, they're good. Yep, but right afterwards, them are cutthroat. Yeah, them are cutthroat. 2 hours, Pi. When he's there, he is pissed. Yeah, because some of them you caught bred into Asians. Pi said, yeah, they can keep the space country there and the buildings. Pi buying up for they, but the requirement is they have to raise decent children, guys. Yeah, that's 100% law and norms. And Vang Demon will fill you in. That's 100% law and norms. Yep. And then right there, yep, they utilize it. They live, they do good, and Pi they live. Yeah, Pi they live. That's 100% law and norms. But the first batch was pure evil, Pi. When he is born, he says, "I can't believe it, me, a lamb and the head of a tiger," and then he punches her, Pi. Yep, that's true. And then Pais in Ukraine, they don't tell how tragedies hit. Pais from yep, normal. And then Pais said, the Ukraine is taking care of those are lamb. The Norwegians in Finland, those are horn demons, that's true. And right there, Pi, when we appear 2 hours and they remember me, one of the grandpas, Pi, yeah, that's 100% law, that's true. Yeah, Mwachenka. It is very graphic. He says, Pi, you say, how come when Earth is full of they, how come you don't build everything quickly, Pi wrote? No need to yet, because me building a space station right there on Mars, real, yeah, real. Pi's humongous space station there, and the storage is down there and on Mars. And the best fight scene, Pi, people laughing with you, Pi, yeah, that's true.